the heck is this? Paging me at 5:46 in the morning, clock of dawn. Now I'm yawning, wipe the cold from my eyes. See who's this paging me and why? It's my man Pop from the barbershop. Told me he was in the gambling spot and heard the intricate plot. Now people wanna stick you like fly paper, neighbor. Slow down, love, please chill, drop the caper.
What's up, my people? I want y'all to welcome back to another episode to My Voice, Our Agenda. I've been away for a while, taking care of some business, but now I'm back. First, I want to give all praises to God. Without Him, I'm nothing. With Him, I'm everything. I'm happy to be back. You know, I'm blessed. There's a lot been going on. But if you're new to my YouTube channel, I want you guys to subscribe to My Voice, Our Agenda, my YouTube channel. I want to thank everybody that support me. I missed you guys. I really do miss you guys. But we got a lot to talk about. I know, everybody been on top of the news. There's so much going on. And, I just wanted to do my research on a lot of things so I can be eloquent and be precise about the things that I talk about. Well, first, I want to give a shout out to my nephew out there, Quinn Fleeting, the Windsor High football team, the head coach. I want to give congratulations to him. I'm very proud of him. He's 2-0 right now, first year coaching. I want to give a big shout out to my nephew, man. Big shout out, Big Quinn. I love you, bro. Donald Trump been busy, man. The world has been busy. The country has been upside down. But we're being challenged as Americans. We're being challenged. Our Constitution is being challenged. Our freedom of speech is being challenged. And I think it's very important. There's certain events that has highlighted these type of things to occur. Although our Constitution and our rights as Americans have been challenged even before this date. But note it that we're living in times where this is not a normal society. We're not living in a normal society. We're living in a society where the morale is very low. A government that's trying to add flame to an already divided society that we have. And it's very unfortunate that we have to live under these conditions, but it's reality, right? So, again, this segment is basically dictatorship versus democracy and the Constitution. On September 10th of 2025, it was a couple of things that went on that day. One fell under the radar, and the other has elevated in our everyday news, our everyday conversation, whether you at the kitchen table, whether you at church, whether you at work with your coworkers, no matter where you at, this situation has been on everybody's mind everybody's mouthpiece. The killing of Charlie Kirk. Who was Charlie Kirk? He was an American man, right? He was a right wing political activist, not a politician. And this is the reason why I took my time to talk about this subject. Everybody's been talking about it for weeks now. He is a political right wing activist. He's not a politician. So when they use the term assassination, it's just unfortunate uh, what white America is doing today. He was shot and killed on September 10th, a couple weeks ago, in Orem, Utah. Um, he was at an outdoor event at a college, which he frequently does. Actually, he was at Utah Valley University, UVU, and he was at an event which he frequently does. He have his debates. He gives you the floor to give your opinion, to ask questions. Um, and most of his debates, well, I know this debate that happened that particular day, it was planned by an organization. It was a conservative organization called Turning Point USA. Conservative, Republican, conservative, far right wing, or right wing, whatever you want to call it. It's Republican, right? And there was a whole lot of people, probably 1,000 more. I'm not sure what the number was, but there was a whole lot of people there. And it was a young man, a 22-year-old um, from Arkansas, I believe, uh, Tyler James Robinson, allegedly, because I have my own opinion about that. He was the one that uh, shot Charlie Kirk through the neck 200 yards away. Sniper rifle, shotgun, whatever you want to call it. 22 years old. Um, it's not proven why he did it. And unfortunately, you have mainstream media, you have social media, you have people speculating and giving their own opinions on why he did it. I had my own speculations after doing my research. I think it's a whole lot bigger than a 20-year-old, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. It's a whole lot bigger than him. Um, and we need to really take that in consideration. But I'm not going to use this segment to really talk about, Charlie Kirk. I'm not going to talk about him. I'm going to call him Charlie Brown. I'm going to change his name to Charlie Brown, not to be disrespectful, but, that's Candace Owen, buddy, right? She's all over social media, defending him and so on and so forth. So obviously he liked chocolate, right? He got chocolate friends. All right. We know an opportunist when we see one. But we're going to call him Charlie Brown. We're going to call him Charlie Kirk. Respectfully, if that's going to be allowed. But the reason why I brought him up, because his death opened up a lot of conversation. It expanded the conversation of freedom of speech. And with Trump and his MAGA buddies are trying to get rid of freedom of speech, They're doing everything in their power to censor people that has an opinion. Everyone was okay with Donald Trump disrespecting other politicians, calling them names, um, very nasty racial remarks. He was doing that ever since we even knew about Donald Trump. But Charlie Brown, my bad. He has built his platform off of his opinion, aka freedom of speech. He was never censored for the awful things that he said. Even if he said things that people agree with, he had every right to speak his mind, whether you like it or not. But he was exercising his freedom of speech. Now that he's gone, anybody that says anything remotely close about Charlie Brown, aka Charlie Kirk, they're being censored. They're being fired from their job, coaches, teachers, firemen, police officers, late night talk show um, people are being quieted, violating their First Amendment and putting our democracy in jeopardy and outright disrespecting the Constitution. This is why this segment is about dictatorship versus our democracy and the Constitution. So, Trump, our current president, is running our office with an iron fist. He's running our office as if the United States of America is a communist country. And I think we have a problem with that. And, you know, we all know dictatorship is fundamentally against the U.S. Constitution. Because the Constitution, the whole document is structured around limiting power and establishing a republican form of government. Okay, and I don't think people understand that. It was put there to limit the power, okay, to be structured so that no one person can have more power than it's supposed to have. I think people need to understand where I'm coming from. And I don't, I'm here to educate you. You know what I'm saying? I understand people have their love for MAGA, white supremacy, or Charlie Brown, Charlie Kirk, and other right wing white supremacist folks or groups, whatever the case may be. But when you started to use the Oval Office, the White House, the, the presidency of the United States of America as a dictatorship, we have a problem. Um, you know, this government is where the people rule. The American people rule through elected representatives. So the Constitution prevents dictatorship. You know, it was put in place to keep the mentality of a dictator, of one person, away. And I don't know if people really follow politics. But the separation of power and checks and balances are very crucial to our society. It's very crucial to the United States government, and this is why no one person should have more power than is given to them to sit in the Oval Office. And we have been uh, very, very quiet, should I say, about the whole dictatorship thing. I'm not quiet about anything. I refuse to be quiet. Uh, and the reason for that is because I live in America and I'm watching this man use the Oval Office to outright violate the Constitution with no fear. So this is the reason why we vote. And for all those that voted this fool in office, this is what you get. This is what you get. We all know what Charlie Kirk stood for. Separation of society, racism. He was against transgenders. He was against gays. Outright disrespect black women. He spoke very loud without anyone stopping him from speaking the way he spoke because he was exercising his freedom of speech. Donald Trump had no problem with that. He applauded him. J.D. Vance, that was his buddy. He applauded him. Now that he was silent, and we don't know the real reason why, I'm going to give you an idea. Well, I'm going to give you my opinion. And this is why it took so long for me to speak on this. My opinion is based off of he spoke for a couple of years. He was only 31 years old, but he had a platform that was very popular. He had a fan base like no other. He was well known, and he spoke for years. Never had a problem. Even if people disagree with him, may have threatened them or whatever. I don't know. But excuse me, no violence has ever came his way until that dark day on September 10th. Which, by the way, there was a high school shooting where people, where children at school, kids were injured, which is becoming a big problem in our country with these school shootings. But it was nobody really talked about it. It was overshadowed by Charlie Brown and his death. But my take on what I believe happened, I think he went over to Israel. He saw some things he didn't like because before that he supported Israel, and he said it on a couple of his shows when the whole October 7th happened with Hamas and Israel and all of that. He supported the whole incursion of Israel into Gaza. But something happened when he went over there recently, and he came back to the country and had a change of heart. And he spoke of Netanyahu, the prime minister or president of Israel. He spoke on the conditions. He spoke on the whole atrocities that were going on between Israel and Gaza, the ethnic cleansing. Then he went on to speak about the Epstein file and how Epstein was connected to Israel. And he went on and on. Now, this was recently. This is not long before he ended up getting murdered. I can be wrong, but there's something fishy about the timing of him speaking on that and his death. I don't know the truth. I don't think a lot of us don't know the truth. But this is bigger than that 22-year-old that they say confessed to shooting him. And this is why he had the right to speak his mind, even if it got him killed, because of freedom of speech. And to have Donald Trump threaten all of us Americans to try to quiet us on speaking on him, his administration, the MAGA movement, the Project 25, anything that's connected to him, he don't like it. So now he wants to violate that. Now he's going after Kimmel. He's going after The View with ABC and Disney in hot water because the FCC decided to put pressure on them to fire Kimmel, the late night talk show host, a comedian that's been doing it for years. They all do it, and if you listen to the video that got him fired, he spoke the truth. And he didn't really say anything bad about Charlie, but he said some things about Trump, and it hit a nerve. But it's a violation of our freedom of speech. It's dictatorship versus our democracy and the Constitution. We need to wake up. A lot of people don't know anything. They born and raised in this country. They don't even know anything about the Constitution. They couldn't tell you about the Fifth Amendment, the first, second, third. And things are being taken away from you, and you too busy worried about things that's not worthy to be worried about. So again, I just wanted to touch on that. Be mindful and understand that your rights are being attacked, and it's being attacked by your government, and the Supreme Court is allowing it. They have not put a stop to nothing that man has done, and he's plowing in so many ways. So again, pay attention to what's going on. Thank you for watching another episode of My Voice, Our Agenda. I'm not done here. I got some other things I want to talk about in another segment. So remember, pay attention to everything that goes on around you. I want y'all to comment, subscribe, like, share this video. We are living in dark times right now. Dictatorship will not be allowed. And I'm going to end this with everybody should always live with this. Integrity is everything. Either you have it or you don't. Thank you guys for watching another episode of My Voice, Our Shenda. I love you. I'm out.